the joke. Have it all together. I hope you can see it. When we get to that part. Josh is back!
Oh, Jesus. What are you doing? I kind of hope you just started the podcast without me. Like, said the things and was like, okay, let's go. What?
Well.
Did you? No, you didn't want to do that. I don't know. What do
I
you
mean,
want?
I could.
Whatever.
You know?
You could.
Yeah. I could have told them to, take their cup on the road or sit down and have a seat and watch the video and that this is Improv-A-Tea.
You could have, but you didn't. Or you just did.
Or I just did. Hi, Josh.
Hi, Tammy. You're so clever with that.
See, I just kind of figured that every episode is just going to be a little different. You see, we're going to kind of keep it the same, but just a little different.
So there's no practicing or getting it right.
Nope.
Oh, that makes me feel great. Because I don't have to get things right.
Right. That's how I look at it. If you don't have a script, you don't have to get it wrong.
I think you can still get it wrong and not have a script. I think we can prove that to somebody.
Are you calling me wrong?
No, you can't be wrong.
Well, you can't be wrong either. I'm giving you permission to not be wrong.
But we can be
wrong. No. Tonight, Josh, I thought we would talk a little bit about technology.
Okay.
Not the nuts and bolts of the thing, but how we react to it.
I was just wondering how you were going to tell me about technology because
Sam's the technology.
Because getting ready for this particular podcast tonight has not been
It was batteries.
I know.
It was equipment that was put in different places.
See that technology right there?
I'm going to turn that off.
That's a phone right there. That you didn't know how to turn off for a podcast.
I didn't, because, look, no. Because in order to have my timer going on, I can't turn off the ringer.
You can, actually.
I probably can. Gosh, I don't care.
Technology! But
that's why I pay my son to do this, and I don't try. We did go over how much 2% of 0 is, right? Yeah. That's what he's getting.
Nice.
Which is not a whole lot. As it turns out.
You're going on that whole mom thing. I gave him life and everything. I'll just cash that in every so often.
Right. But still, yet I'm not going to do the technology. And he has batteries, so we're all good for tonight. I brought the lights upstairs. I did my part.
Good job.
I don't have to know how it works. But what I do need to know is how I react to it.
I think you reacted by saying they're too bright, but
I think they're all right. That's not the technology I was talking about reacting to, Josh.
Like, what do you mean?
I was talking, as an adult, I didn't get a cell phone until 2008 or 2009.
Yeah.
And there was a very good reason for that. I already at that point in time, people were being sucked into all the apps and social medias and all of that. And I didn't want that problem. I looked into the future and I said, Tammy on social media will bounce off of social media walls. Hyper little ball of energy.
So you knew how you'd...
I knew. So you know what kind of phone I got first?
No.
I got a Blackberry.
Okay.
Rolling through my mind at the time was, this is an office phone. This is a phone that does, files and stuff. It doesn't do a bunch of other stuff. Although it did a little bit.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
But it kept me off of Facebook so much.
Now, I'm going to have to use my phone and look up a thing because I'm just curious. When did Facebook start? Do you know? Off top of your head.
I don't.
So yeah, I know it's riveting to watch someone look something up.
I
want to know.
Yeah.
For this conversation.
Right.
When...
Because I think there was MySpace.
When did Facebook start? Yeah. So you can
February 2004, Cambridge, MA.
2004. So when did you get when you said it a moment ago, I was like, yeah, of course.
So like 2008, 2009.
Of course you didn't have a cell phone until later, but I thought for a minute, I was like, no, that's way later than cell phones existed.
Yeah.
As I was younger, it's like I'm like in a weird age range where I'm a little bit younger than you and older than a lot of some of the other gamblers. So it's like I'm like in a weird middle spot. So I had a cell phone when they came out.
Oh,
but also like I remember before cell phones.
So no, but
so some people are like I don't recall. So I had like the Nokia, but I wasn't.
You had a flip phone.
Oh no, I had the brick. I had the one that didn't.
Oh.
The one that was flat faced.
Yeah.
And or whatever that was. Or maybe had.
But did you have a bag phone?
Dude, I have no idea.
No, you didn't. I think bag phones were like. I mean, you could search, but I think it was considerably. That's the
thing. So. But you were worried about it then, like, so Facebook was such a thing when you first got a phone that you were like, I know not to go near that?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Because other folks, at that time, I was maintaining a personal blog because, as we all know, I like to talk a lot. And at that point in time, I can't help it. At that point in time, it was all written out. I didn't have like a friend group that I texted with or anything like that.
I think they were called forums then.
Whatever. Yeah. Forums, yes, forums. I didn't do forums.
You didn't do anything?
I didn't do any forums.
Okay.
I didn't do MySpace. I didn't do anything like that. I had a blog. I was a homeschool mom. I had a blog.
Okay. And you still do, don't you?
I do. I don't maintain that blog anymore. But I still have some friends that I got from that.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so I knew, MySpace was big and all that stuff. So I knew I wanted to be careful about that. And what happened? Fair.
So would you call Fair like live action Facebook?
Yeah.
Yeah. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. And an encourager and a facilitator of habits. What is that called when you help somebody do something? You're an enabler.
Enabling them?
That's what Fair is. It's an enabler.
Yeah.
In a lot of really good ways. But at that time, I joined Cast, and I had been on their forums, kind of lurking in the shadows to see if I wanted to get me and the kids involved in that, watching, just the interactions between people to see if it was a community that I wanted to participate in. And
but most of it was...
It was great. It was fun.
But most of it, wasn't it Facebook driven when it started? Or I guess it was foreign driven and then moved to Facebook.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
So when I joined the Cast at Kentucky, several of the alumna were saying, you should join Facebook because that's where everybody's at. We do all of our talking there and, behind the scenes stuff. And I'm like, okay, fine. To be a part of this community, I'll do that. And it was nothing. It was sucked me in and I was a goner.
So let me ask you this. When was your youngest daughter born?
2005.
So she has not known a world where Facebook has not existed because it was in 2004 when it started.
No, she hasn't.
Wow. So, yeah.
And actually, I have taken to showing her I'm getting away from Facebook a whole lot, but I'll still check in every so often during the day, and Facebook does that memories thing.
Yeah.
So something will come up because I used it like a journal. So kind of slacked off on my blog and moved everything over to Facebook. And lots of, it's like a scrapbook.
Yeah.
Lots of the 5-year-old Moira's on there and,
Mm-hmm.
and what she's saying, the funny things she said during the day and the things that she did and all that. So I've taken to showing her, the 5-year-old versions of her, and she thinks it's hilarious. But no, she doesn't know a life that's not Facebook.
That's kind of, see, that's one of those things where it's like, I remember before that, and like, I see the good side of it. It's like, okay, yeah, Facebook, you use it to network and to get messages out and to reach people you cannot reach all the time. So, but yeah, I see where you're saying it's like a time suck and can be, but that seems to me to be all on the person using it.
It is. And that's that's where I've gotten, I started out, I can look back in hindsight and go, yeah, this is something that I did, and this is a whole big process, and I saw my growth through the whole, the platform. I was like, okay, yes, I wanted the likes. Who doesn't want the likes? Who doesn't want to see, birthday wishes every year? At least we started out this way, and then the longer we're around, you're going, okay, I've seen some crap here on Facebook. I don't want to get in on this anymore. I'm done with the political conversations. I'm done with the triggers. I'm done with me wanting to get a reaction.
Okay. And
so I'm looking at this podcast for tonight, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to talk about tonight? Because there's a lot of things that we can talk about, but we got to figure out the angle that we're coming at it from. And a friend said, well, have you heard of this phenomenon of feeling like you're going to miss out?
Yes.
On things, and how it's related to our use of social media. You go out on a date with somebody or with a group of friends, you're going out to get dinner or whatever. And there was a time when the huge buzz was all about, make your friends put your phone upside down and stack them up, or all these little techniques to keep people from checking their phones, because it's downright rude.
It
right?
can be, yes.
So, I looked at it, and this fear of missing out is like, it's not clinical.
It's not clinical?
I don't think it's clinical yet.
Okay.
I don't think they've decided that it's that bad, but it does lead to anxiety, and it could lead to depression and all of this stuff.
I know people that have, diagnosed ADHD, and that's what they went on. They felt like they were missing out. This is before this is when this person and I were young and in high school, and we had cell phones around then, but it was more like I'd be out doing something with this group of friends and think,
you had cell phones in high school?
You know what? Not really. He had a beeper.
Mercy.
Yeah, he had a beeper, and I maybe had the first. And they would just be for phones. It was for if your parents needed to reach you.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like that.
Right.
So he had a beeper. So around this point, but the thing of it was we talked many years later. We were having a discussion about this. He'd be out with this group of friends, and we'd be at a party, be having a good time, and he'd think, man, I should be with this other group of friends doing this other thing. Mm-hmm. And wherever he was, he would be thinking, yes, I want to be doing that other thing. Right. And that was just not being at the place I was at the right time. Yeah. And that was an ADD thing, just thinking about the other thing. And that's why he had actual anxiety driven from that, and actually had to go seek actual mental, guidance for things like that. And
so it's one of the things that tipped his clinical people off that he might have ADHD.
Yeah. And you know what? He was never a big on Facebook type of guy. So that wasn't a thing for him, but that anxiety still existed.
Right, sure. It happened.
That technology.
It happened before technology. You go into the office
this could make it worse.
Right. Yeah.
Because now you can see what you're missing.
Yes.
Or in your brain what you're missing. But there's always something going on somewhere, and you can't do everything.
Right. So I kind of processed through, and over the past 2 or 3 years, I've been trying to, moderate my own use of Facebook and all of that, and I'll reduce my audience a little bit for different things, and try to shift over to, like, we've gotten over to Discord and that sort of thing for the cast work. But here I have this 13-year-old, and she has a phone. Mm-hmm. So I'm also coming at it from that angle. Like, is my teenager spending too much time on a screen? And does she have this fear of missing out thing? And I kind of was concerned a bit about shallow sort of social interactions and that sort of thing. And I didn't know quite how they're related or if they are. I went out looking, and the surprising thing is, and I think it was like, I don't know, was it Pew Research or something? I don't know who it was. I'll have to find it again. But they were saying that teenagers aren't having as many problems with those shallow relationships because they've grown up.
I was going to say, she grew up with it.
It's me and you that have to, because we're going
audio visual stuff, like video games and or VHS and all that. I grew up with that.
Yeah.
And like my parents did not, so that was new to them, trying to hook things together. And it's like when it first came out, they got these VCRs and stuff, and they read the instructions, they hooked them up, and they worked them fine. Now my father cannot do that now. He can't push the buttons to make the TV work, and it's like, man, you showed me how to do this. But the thing is, I've grown up with it, so every time it's changed, I've been like on board, like, okay, yeah, I get this, I understand this, and then that's a thing he just doesn't understand because that was not how it was.
Yeah.
So it's a thing like that, and I'm lost on technology a little bit, but not as much as
you're lost on technology.
Yes, I mean some things, like some platforms will come out and be like, I don't understand how to use this, but I have the ability to go and figure it out. I just don't know if I care on.
Don't know if you care.
There's some things that just don't excite me.
So you're not missing out on that? You have no fear of missing out on that.
I'm a lot on Facebook, I'm a lot on, and I'm on Instagram, but I don't care for Snapchat. It's just like, okay.
Yeah.
I could use it if I wanted to. I just don't.
It's the tool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see them all as tools like that too, but I see how they can get someone very anxiety ridden if you live and die on Facebook.
So here's the thing. Like I said, I think I've grown past a whole lot of that. I still like to, to see the likes and the hearts bubble up when you're doing a live feed or something like that. I'm a sucker. Yeah, I'll admit it. But I think I've processed through a bunch of that. But I'm talking to some other gamblers about it, and their fear of missing out isn't so much technology driven as it is geography. Their distance away from the group drives their fear of missing out on what the rest of the group is doing. So it goes back a little bit more to that original fear of missing out when you were, part of an office group or something, and you have to stay back at the office to get your work done, but everybody else is going to the bar or something. What am I missing out on? But I have to sit here and do the work.
Yeah.
So it's that anxiety. For one reason or another, it still does that. It's not ever going to go away. But like you said, technology can make it a whole heck of a lot worse.
Yeah. It's a tool for me. Like you said, you can use it or you can't. And I hate to... It's like most things, and I hate to get into political things, but there are other arguments like this is a tool, this...
Right.
You have to use it like you...
Yeah, use it responsibly.
Responsibly. And there's the thing. Kids grow up with it, do they? Yeah. Or is it just a thing for them that's not really...
Right. So the other thing that I saw was these kids that are growing up with it. One commentator was saying that in their research, the kids were responding, the teenagers were responding that they don't go without their phone in their hands. Ever. They hardly ever are caught without their phone. And then they wanted the reaction. Do you feel like that's a problem? And, about half of them are saying, no, I don't feel like it's a problem. And half of them are saying, yeah, it's a problem. And they're dealing with it. But the commentator's coming on and they're like, well, if technology, if they can't be without it, is that really a healthy part of their life? And I'm like, maybe it is. Maybe it's just something that they stick in their back pocket and they don't think about it. They've gotten so used to ignoring the buzz. This
sounds like the people being like, oh, these are millennials and they don't act the way we used to. It's like, well, they got different things than we used to.
Right.
I think a lot of people communicate over those phones. Mm-hmm. And I was messing with your daughter earlier and she was on her, whatever she was doing, online. She was watching YouTube videos. But when I'd come and stand behind her just to mess with her, she's like, what? And it's like, she's talking to somebody on there, and she doesn't want me to see whatever conversation, however innocent it might be.
Right.
It's just like, I was like, nothing. And I just keep on wondering and looking over her shoulder, and she'd be like, what? It's because she is talking to somebody. She's having...
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's what it is. And
you're eavesdropping. That's the new eavesdropping.
Technically, although, whether she know it, I'm so blind that I couldn't see that far as to even notice what was going on. But at least I can look. I see a window minimize when I walk over. It's like, yeah, you're talking to somebody, and I guess you're supposedly supposed to be doing homework, but I don't care. No. I might have just told on her to you, but hey, I don't care. And that's the thing.
What my daughter doesn't realize is that I know what she does 24/7.
Most likely. And then the thing is, that's normalcy.
Yeah.
And to her, and it's like, I'm a little resistant to it, but then again, I get my news online too.
Yeah.
It's like, I go to look up the news. I don't watch the news. I don't, and not just Facebook, like back before when TV was new, the family would get together at prime time at 8 p.m. or whatever, and just sit down and watch what was new on, and that was the time.
Yeah.
They don't have to do that anymore. They can just do it whenever.
Right.
You can have work whatever time of day, come home and have your shows recorded, or watch them when you want to.
Right.
Or not have time to do that like I do. One of those things.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to take a pause right there. So
pausing is an option. You could pause this podcast.
You could pause it, but you don't want to because you're going to miss information. We're coming back to that. I wrote a note. It's right here so that we can come back to that spot. But I do want to let you all know that if you are only hearing this podcast, you're missing out. And you need to find us on Patreon at Gaelic Gambol, GaelicGambol. Patreon, and for as little as $3 a month, you can be subscribed for the video portion of the podcast, and you don't want to miss this because it's funny. It's hecka funny.
She's pointing to me. I just want to say that on the audio because I'm hecka funny.
Yes,
hecka funny.
Hecka funny.
Jesus. Anyways,
no.
Shoot, gee golly, I'm sorry.
Well. I have the inside joke.
Oh, the inside joke. This is the thing that we do now.
Yes. Tell them what the inside joke is, Josh.
Apparently the inside joke, I guess I'm going along with this as I'm part of this podcast, is we show the viewers this inside joke to where it's the setup and the punchline, and you don't get to see it.
Can I see it?
No, they can't see. You have to move it up there.
Closer?
No, I have to walk closer.
You walk
because I can get up and move around.
We're trying really hard to make this easier for you to see.
So as we make this...
Oh, yeah, that's better.
We make this good video, we make this bad audio because I'm away from where I should be sitting and speaking.
Yeah, but it's not that bad.
No.
So that was the inside joke. If you are with us audio, you didn't get to see the inside joke. I'm about to put the answer though on the board, and we'll come back at the end, and you can see it.
You know what? I don't think I want to see it now.
I'm going to show you now.
Oh God. Oh God, really? See, I don't think I should be allowed to choose the jokes because
you didn't choose that one. I did.
I know. You gave me an option if I wanted to look up a joke and choose a joke, and I said no because A, I'm lazy, but then I thought about it and I was like, maybe I shouldn't be the one to do that because my sense of humor is not that G-rated as yours.
It's really corny stuff. But stick around for the end of the video and we'll show you the punchline to that. Also, we want to let you know that we are going to be at as it's signs are clear. All signs are clear. Shake the 8 ball, come up. It says all signs are looking good. We, the Gaelic Gambol, will be at PlayThink.
Oh, okay.
In June, which is in Harrodsburg, and we are excited to go and dance with you there. So if you haven't already got your tickets for that, do that because it'll be fun. We'll have a dance workshop, and there's a whole lot of other fun workshops that you can participate in. It's like summer camp for everybody. And they have fun.
I was looking at pictures of that thing, and it's one of those things that we have not been to for the first time yet, and we're just knowing what it is by pictures and, hearsay, so we have not experienced it yet.
Yes.
But it looks very fun.
Yeah. And they're in a new location this year.
So I'm eager to see that and participate in it and be like, okay, this is the thing we should do every year, hopefully.
Yeah, we're excited. We will also be at Central Missouri Fair on the first weekend in May, whatever that is. Is that like the 4th, 5th, something? Whatever that first weekend in May is.
I believe it's the 1st and 2nd. I don't know.
We will be in Central Missouri. You may remember we were there last October. And had a grand time. It was the first away trip that the Gambol had. And we had a ball. Nice little fair. And the people were just so welcoming.
May 4th and 5th is that first weekend.
Who said that?
In May.
I did.
Yes. I said that. And that is one thing that we've done before. So we know how fun that fair actually is.
Yeah.
And not that it wouldn't be, but it's just it's not something we've done before, like you said, before we went out to and it was our first new outside the walls of Kentucky fair,
So we're excited to go back. And we think you would be excited to go there as well and enjoy that new fair and get out of the region.
They have that twice a year, do
they? So we will be there their second weekend. That's a 2-weekend time slot that fair is open, and then they will do another weekend in October. So we will only be there the second weekend, which is a Highland Fling weekend, which is perfect for us. As
it seems like we fit in there. Yes.
We did fit in there in October, and we're excited to go back and fit in for their Highland Fling weekend. Anything else we need to remind them about?
No.
I don't think so either.
No, because they follow us so attentively that they know all that stuff already.
It's true. That's true. And we talk a lot anyway. So in all of our various places. So let's get back to this. You were talking about prime time. TV watching and prime time and stuff.
When TV was, I remember it from the 80s, so it had been going for several years, but that was the time of prime time, and you'd sit around as a family at this time on like a Friday night and watch this certain block of TV, and that's all most people would do.
Right.
Like that was the family gathering time.
And the fear of missing out there was, you're sitting and you're watching, or that your favorite show is coming on. So you're telling your friends, oh, I will answer the phone right now. But hey, look, Jeopardy's coming on, so I'm going to have to go here in a minute.
Yeah. You want the Jeopardy there? I get what you're saying, and I love Jeopardy, but the thing is, what people would do back then, they'd watch like soap operas, and it was a thing. If you go now, there are shows that people live and die for, like Game of Thrones and things like that.
I'm not dying.
We dodged a bullet there.
We did.
The Game of Thrones and things like that, people were like go bananas over like someone saying something and ruining a plot, which...
Yeah.
And then like back in that day when there was no forums or things like that to keep them up, there was like Dallas and things like that, and people would say who shot JR, and that stuff would get around without like any technology to carry it around. So things like that big, and that was word of mouth and like newspapers, and that was a thing that people not understand. It was such a big thing because you can just go and look up anything on the internet now.
Yeah. Are we so what we've got now is this binging thing. Mm-hmm. You binge your shows.
Which means it just, I'm for that. You can information can just get from one place to another, quickly now.
Yeah.
And people don't understand how amazing it is because they didn't live without it. Like I said, your daughter might not know how that was before.
Right.
But then I remember something of it, and like I brought up Dallas, but I was too young to know what that was. But it was, yeah, you're giving that look. But I knew of it.
Who shot JR?
Like I knew of that. And
let me tell you who shot JR. No, spoilers.
It was things like that. That's just bad variety.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah. So will she even recognize it? I don't know.
I'm morbidly curious with things like that like TV shows and stuff that existed before my time. But I'm a nerd like that. I was brought up to be that way.
Right. So. I was originally thinking about this fear of missing out thing and recognizing that even though fear was kind of what brought me into social media and made me go through the process, the growing up, the maturity for myself through social media, fear is also the big thing that helped me get out of it. Fear, when you're in the middle of a rehearsal or when you're in the middle of a fair day, you can't just drag out your cell phone,
Yeah.
And half the time you don't even want to. You're doing stuff. You're involved. You don't have a fear of missing out on something because your people are there doing stuff or they're engaging you. They're keeping you active. And there's a lot of different activities that we do just during rehearsals too that drop that anxiety down a little bit and help us to not think about, help us to stay in our brain, because I think that's kind of what that is a little bit. Do I need to check here? Do I just hit the pause button? I got to check this out. I got to make sure. Instead of staying in the moment, sort of a deal.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. Like I said before, it's a tool, right? So like a power drill is a tool, but you don't give it to a kid that doesn't know how to use it because dangerous stuff, right?
But we do.
Yeah, that's the thing, we do. So you gotta basically, it's not dangerous per se like that, but it can be dangerous for your mental health, I guess. So you gotta learn how to keep it in check.
So what are the activities that we do during rehearsals that keep us keep us in the now, keep us in our current, not worried about what's going on the phone, not worrying about the likes.
Well, if you're talking about like what we do in like rehearsals to distract us from the distraction, I guess we're saying,
yeah,
is
real life.
A lot of the games we play have to do with focus on a certain thing, and if we have to be focused on, and sometimes it's focused on each other to see who's speaking to you or who's passing you an imaginary ball or who you're trying to get the attention of, then you can't use that phone. That phone cannot be there because you're having your focus right here and now. And then you start, say if you're a kid who's kind of shut in and because of, say, phone, and you're kind of cut off from other people in that respect. Because you can be on the phone talking all day and then interact with another person and not know how to act. That same person. I've talked to you all this time, but I can be sitting here with you and...
Oh, yeah, it's the difference between having having a very real fourth wall there. Yeah. Having a screen in between you and not.
And that can happen. And so you kind of learn interaction with other people being more okay. And being like, I don't need to talk to someone through a phone because I can do it here. It's one of those things that you didn't...
I'm capable.
Being online, and a lot of people do this when if you ever read the comment sections on anything and never ever do that ever. Don't.
It's a mistake. It's a trap.
Yeah. Like...
What is that Star Wars?
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
You said it.
No. I know I did, but what's the character's name? Is
Admiral
it a general?
Akbar.
Admiral. Yeah. Sorry, don't take my card away. I'm sorry. Continue.
Anyways. It was a trap. Okay, so...
It's a trap.
It's one of those things to where people, the worst comes out of them and they can say the worst, and because they have this wall of not knowing who they are, you can't see them. It's like I can react badly and no one will stop me. But when you're face to face with a person, you are not going to do that. Half the people online that get up on their soapboxes and go on about politics. Yeah. You get in the same room with them, they're not going to be that way. Right. They know better than that. It's just they have the screen
their mamas
to
taught
hide
them well.
behind. So it's one of those things how technology puts the worst of us out there.
I think it does.
It does, because you're not controlling yourself. Right. And
so yeah, it's a matter of self-control. Yeah. Too. And that's one of the other things that we learn how to walk that line when we're figuring out this whole improv and agile acting thing. Knowing where your lines are and how you're going to walk them with any person that you're talking to.
Because you're just talking and putting the worst out at nothing. Because you're not reading an audience on your bad comments or whatever. Right. Or your good comments. You're not reading an audience. But you learn to do that through each other when you're interacting. Through fare and things like that. And then it kind of guides the rest of your actions. And that's the thing. You lose a bit on technology. Like we talked to that on another podcast where conversations were a portion of the information, but also a portion of body language and body reading. Yeah. So
I don't remember was that? I don't remember which podcast that was. I was going to refer them back to.
Yeah, we should do that, but they should just watch all the podcasts.
You should just watch all the podcasts.
That way they can...
I'll put it in the comments. Yeah. I'll have to do some research.
Right. But it's one of those things where if you want to be good at anything, you have to practice it. And peopling, especially like when you're a nerdy person, is a hard thing to do. You don't practice that. Where you practice that is at school. And if you're one of those people that don't get along with people at school or know how to engage other people, you can't practice that. Right. And especially online, it's like you can practice typing. That's why some of us can speak like Shakespeare online. We can type like that, but then we don't have the words when we just talk to another person and we're like, blah, 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 blah. But
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was telling you the other night, I'm
never like that because...
Yeah?
Yeah. I have this false confidence that I've built up by playing with other people that I can just BS my way out of it and not ever be like that. At least I know how to present like I am.
Well done,
yeah.
Josh. You're doing that so well.
Mm.
But it was like I was telling you the other night, you know, I come across a lot better in writing because, I mean, no, you're not supposed to go, You're supposed to say, no, you're doing just fine right now.
You are doing just fine right now. But I am also...
are also...
attentively listening to what you're saying.
Right. But I come across better in writing, I think, because it gives me time to think about what I'm saying. There's not the imperative of an immediate response there. I can fact check myself before I write it out, sort of a deal.
I get you on there, and no, you're absolutely correct about that. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing that just writing, for me, I'm a lot better in conversational writing too, but because I just, for the longest time, that's how I interacted with people, was online and things like that. I didn't know how to speak to another person across the table from me. But...
And look at you now. I'm not even across the table. I'm just right here.
I'm not really talking to you. No, but yes, I'm talking to you. I'm talking to everyone that will listen to me, which is nice. Right. And then, but that's the thing, to get your point across, and then, like you said, to fact check yourself. When you're having a conversation like that, you don't want to say something stupid, quote unquote, or say something incorrect to where they'll catch you on that.
Oh, but here's the thing. Yeah. You can let them.
Oh, yeah.
You know? And that's like part of the conversation.
See, that too. I think people want to be right too much.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you can be wrong on certain things, but a lot of the conversation of acting like you know what you're talking about and you throw something out there that's wrong, I guess it's just people trying to do a masquerade as they're speaking, you know. I don't get caught by that much because I guess I just don't do it that much. I don't know. I don't put up the front of, I know this. And then if I say something and someone questions me on it, then I question me on it. I'm like, I don't know. Oh, yeah. Was that right?
I'm terrible.
I thought that was correct.
At doubting myself. Somebody will say like the silliest thing, like those little math questions that come out, and they're designed to trip you up because, you know, it's the communicative properties and all of this, you know, where the parentheses are and what do you multiply first and all this, you know, and there ends up being 2 or 3 different answers because of the way that people approach the problem, and you know, you get a mathematician. Whatever.
DAS. It's PEMDAS. Anyways.
I might be showing
conversations like that that sounds like online conversations where people put that up there all the time.
Right?
I thought you were talking like you had a conversation the other day and someone brought up an equation to you. It's like, why would that be?
Well, they do that to me all the time. I've got smart friends, and they will post these things, and I think they must be doing it because they think it's funny to see, you know, the different responses.
Well, that's a weird communication thing I don't like about Facebook. It's like, okay, so I have a Facebook. In my brain, this is what Facebook is. This is like all your friends are in the same room with you, and you have a little soapbox, and you get up on that soapbox, and you say what you want. That's how Facebook is, because everyone can see what you said, and you say it like, okay, I believe this. Now, everyone in that room has heard you say that. Yeah. That's kind of like what Facebook is. And then people have the audacity to do things like that, and they do it through memes, and like, I didn't write this, but I put this, it's like me standing up on the soapbox and holding this picture up and saying like, I like this, and showing everyone this. And then that picture is kind of, I don't know, offensive to someone, and they'll be like, well, you're offending me. And they'll say, I didn't write that, somebody else made that. Yeah, but you stood up on your soapbox to your friends and said, hey, look at this. I like this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like you're kind of putting that out there.
Right.
And if you're putting something out there that is, just really offensive in one way or another to people, they're going to call you out on it.
Right.
And people think, oh, no. And that's one thing on Facebook where you put these memes up and you don't put up your own thoughts. And maybe part of it, maybe not the whole thing, is what you're wanting to put out there, like a small message of it. Though you don't want the offensive part of it, you're not
the writing and not the picture.
You're not clearly putting out a clear message because it's not your own words.
Mm-hmm.
So memes and stuff like that, when someone's Facebook is just that and nothing else, that's why it's weird to try to understand that person. You have to read between the lines of and you can do that on certain people's Facebook and think that's why they said this. And if you know them real well from them from fair and you know them in real life and you're like, they mean this and that's why they put this up.
Right.
That's a weird thing to have to translate someone through pictures and whatnot, which I kind of do sometimes.
But shouldn't you have to do that anyway? Shouldn't you have to take the people that you want to keep closest to you,
mm-hmm.
the social circles that you keep closest to you, shouldn't you take... I'm declining that again. Shouldn't you take technology, man?
Should you take that call?
No. Shouldn't you have to take everything that you know about a person and wrap that all up before you are responding, before you're doing this snap judgment thing? I mean, isn't that the better way?
Yes.
To deal with people? If you're going to care enough to comment on this offensive meme that they've put up or something,
yeah,
shouldn't you take everything that you know about this person and, take the extra step and go, I'm not really sure what you're trying to say here. I kind of wonder if this is where you're going. This is how I've pictured you in the past. Is this in line with what you're saying here?
Yes, and
mm-hmm.
That's the thing we do. Yeah, but yes, and also there you caught me on something because there's two ways I was going about that. I was going about people that just put up things that maybe aren't even offensive, just not their own thoughts. It's just memes and pictures that you have to digest those pictures and figure out what they mean by that. And that's one way. And then there are the pictures that people put up that are offensive. And that is like that. I had a friend, I went through high school and about college years. He split off and went this way and I went this way and just thoughts about the world. And it was one of those things to where he would put these memes up and I'd be like, you're not like that. I know your mother. It's like I grew up with you. You wouldn't do that.
So why are you saying on social media?
Yeah.
So it kind of goes both ways.
Yeah. But then again, maybe that's what they want to be. They're putting that note, their message out there. It's like I believe in this.
I want to be this person.
I want to be this person. It's like, but you're not. But then again, who are you to say that they don't want to be that? They're telling you.
So as a friend, it's like, do you really want to do this, Josh? Yeah. Is this how you're trying to be? Because, buddy, I'll get out of your way if that's what you want to do, but I'm going to go this direction if you are.
But sometimes it's a sad thing because you know a person for 10 years and it's like you stop hanging out because it's like, I don't know that guy anymore. Yeah.
So social media as a tool to get to know people in a different way.
Yeah. I mean, so you think it would be fine if you didn't know that person was like that and they are like that over here and you're just not on social media so you don't know them that way?
I want to know an entire person.
Right. And it's like I said, some people, because they have a social media, even though everyone in their Facebook and all their friends, anyone you've chosen to show this to, chosen to be in your little room with your soapbox, mm-hmm. It's like they still act differently because it's to a computer screen. Because they can't see their friends react. And then sometimes they'll put something up there that's offensive, and their friends, they were friends before. They interacted in real life, made friends, put it on Facebook, linked up. And then those people react like, I think differently than you. Mm-hmm. And then they, I guess, quote unquote, break up on Facebook, and then you don't see them talk in real life.
Yeah.
That's how the world is now.
Yeah.
And I'm not against it or for it, but that's kind of how it is.
I just want to see us use it instead of react to it.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's like one of those things, people have to realize what they're doing with their tool.
Yep, absolutely. Don't do that, Josh.
Mm-hmm. They can see it on there, but they can't
None of those unintended inside jokes. Anyway, so we're at the end of our...
everything I do on here, thank you.
We're at the end of our 45 minutes that we tried to keep it to. So you're going to get up and give them the groaner.
Give them the groaner, right? We need to stop this before we go too far.
There's your answer for your inside joke of the day. Josh is pointing it out on the screen.
I'm like Vanna White up here.
Right.
Do kids know who Vanna White is?
I don't know. Have they? You know what?
They should.
It's
She's been around for... Yeah.
Wheel of Fortune is still on.
Yeah. But you know, with the look that around with the technology, Vanna White's not really needed to be on that show because they could just press a button.
But I like Vanna.
Of course. But think about that. She doesn't need to be there because all she really does is touch the screen.
It's true.
And she doesn't even need to do that.
Yeah.
But yes, think about that. They leave her on there because she is who she is.
Yeah. Well, that's all we're going to say about all that today because we've run out of time.
Okay.
We're trying to keep, times decent. So it fits into like a...
Tammy and Josh trying to keep times decent. I'm not doing very well about
Break
that.
my cup, man.
Break it.
Bye.
Bye. Decent times, right?